Hey, this is Kelsey, not Chelsea, not live. I am Kelsey, and this is not live. Get it. Yes, I hate those pigs. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back to Kelsey, not Chelsea, not live. I had so much fun last week shoving marshmallows in my face. The number one question that I was asked after that video was how were the strawberry marshmallows? They were awesome and I highly recommend them. Speaking of questions, I am still collecting them for my ask video. So if you'd like to hear me answer questions even more important than how I feel about the flavor of strawberry marshmallows, please be sure to leave a comment or a question in the Tumblr ask that is linked in the description below. Today we're going to talk a little bit about characters. So the first thought I had about characters was it's really important for characters to be likable, but not totally likable. I mean, you don't want your main character to be a jerk, but you also want to make sure that there are things about them the reader is going to want them to improve upon. If your character is already perfect, if they've already got it all figured out, if they already have all of the answers, why would the reader want to know what's going to happen? So I do think it's important for your character to be flawed, but you also want them to want to find ways to become better. I also think you want a main character who is real, but also not totally real. Come on, a lot of people read because they want to escape the monotony of real life. Wingardium Leviosa. I'm doing it! If they wanted to read about real life, they'd probably pick up a newspaper or maybe a nonfiction book. But if you're writing a novel, there needs to be something that's extraordinary about that character. There needs to be something that the reader can't see when they're looking in the mirror. Find that something that makes your main character relatable, but not overly familiar. Speaking of familiar, you want a main character who's recognizable. But you also want a main character who's fresh. Everybody knows that it's important to read well in your genre. And a big part of why that's important is so that you can bring something really special to the table for your main character. Something that sets them apart from every other main character on the shelf at the bookstore. I think that it's important for your main character to be like you, but not totally like you. I think that it's really important as a writer to have an inherent sense of empathy towards your main character. And in that regard, it really helps if there are elements of yourself in your character. On the other hand, your main character can't be you. Unless you're writing an autobiography. And connecting those two dots, you want your main character to be like your readers, but not exactly like your readers. There need to be some pieces to that main character that your reader already has. But there should also be a few pieces to that main character that your reader could never quite attain. But all of my opinions aside, I hope that you remember that your main character is yours. And at the end of the day, you have to write someone that you believe in. So when you're wondering how to make a character that's complex enough, or kind enough, or vindictive enough, pull out a mirror. Or maybe just watch an episode of Duck Dynasty. I love those guys. On Twitter, I asked what it is about a main character that makes you willing to follow them around for 300 pages, and you guys had some incredible answers. @MeNavon said, a main character has to offer me something I've never seen before, but still have a personality that I'm at home with. @MaryGray said, the main character should undergo some type of growth by the end of the story. Also, have at least one good quality to hook me right at the beginning. Rachel O'Laughlin said, a measure of selflessness. Main characters can be disturbed, sometimes even evil, but if they fight against those tendencies, I'm sold. So what do you think? What does a main character need to have or do or be to keep your attention for 300 pages? Leave me a note in the comments and let me know. I want to thank you guys so much for watching Kelsey Not Chelsea Not Live. It is a blast for me to do this every single week. And as always, follow me on Twitter at Kelsey Not Chelsea. I'm really excited to continue to ask you guys questions and get your responses so that I can share them here on the vlog. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what the best part is about your favorite main character. See you next week.